WANDA here for the second time hosting the Sisterhood Supper. We opened the well officially about 2 weeks ago, and this is our first signature event that we do right here at the well at Oxen Run, and so excited to host all of these beautiful women in the space today. See you soon. Thank y'all so much for coming out here to the well at Oxen Run. WANDA has been hosting these Sisterhood Suppers to help celebrate Sheros in the community. Making sure that black women were able to eat and feed each other was an essential part of making sure that we just survived through what was one of the most traumatizing parts of our history. We consider this to be the front gate. This is our ceremonial entrance, and I brought everyone here to tell you about the memory tree. The Department of Urban Forestry said that this tree was dying. It's a tree that's over 250 feet tall, 15 feet in diameter, and it witnessed Harriet Tubman taking her family out of enslavement. But that tree has memories beyond what we can see and what we can imagine.
I'm Liz. I've been farming for 4 years as a way to honor my grandmother and my ancestors. I come from a generation of farmers from Edgecombe, North Carolina. I ended up in this space because I see an opportunity in Ward 8 to really empower our people. Over here, we're practicing an indigenous technique called the Three Sisters Garden, and this is where you can truly maximize how much food you can grow in a small area. These are the crops that were indigenous to the Americas, so a lot of our brown and melanated ancestors who are from these lands were growing these crops. So we have our corn, our beans, and our squash. The corn goes in first, and it roots down, and it gets really strong, and then you put your beans in next, and the beans will climb up the corn. And then you put your squash down last to cover all the ground and weed out pests and weed out bugs. And then sometimes you add another sister, which is our sunflower. So they real young right now, but in about a month, they're going to be about 12 feet tall, and we're going to harvest sunflower seeds and have them for y'all to snack on, which is going to be amazing.
And so I've always said that there is, yes, the need to change the way we eat, but not in the way in which the West tells us, meaning changing the way of our cultural foods, but actually is those cultural foods that are our medicine, because they are our identity, they're our power, they're our culture. Actually, there are our economies, that it's not enough just to have the nutritionist, it's not enough to have the healthy caterer. We actually have structural policies that have created the conditions that we live within. And having been a part of the DC Food Policy Council and seeing the changes just within the last 15 years through the power of policy, from allocating funding to removing covenant clauses that were blocking grocery stores from coming in our community, we would not even imagine what has been the roadblock if we were not at the table to know. Or to know that it takes the number of master's degrees to determine where a grocery store gets placed because they want profitability. And because we don't have enough masters, we end up with the kind of conditions that we have. And so I think this was not the conversation in any nutrition class I was ever in, and we definitely didn't talk about Black foodways. And so that is one of the reasons why WANDA, we felt the need to begin with the idea of how do we educate, advocate, innovate the food system by tapping the unhidden potential through the power of Black women and girls. and the need to re-educate ourselves from the colonized diet and really messaging that we have been receiving through media, through gossip, and through this belief that somehow what is part of us, our culture, is somehow weaponized and is used in a way that is not healthy. And so as our children dance and sing and run, we want that level of freedom for you all to be a part of and enjoy. That we have to be free of not only emancipation of the body, but of the mind.
You do me a favor. I really need you to give a round of applause for this woman of power right here, Tambra Ray Stevenson, y'all. Say her name, Tambra Ray Stevenson. It's an honor to be invited here to speak. And I recognize that every time I see us, I see me, and we're speaking on stages, I know how hard it is to stand up to be you. I know how difficult it is sometimes to get out of the bed and do normal things like take showers and make the bed. I know how difficult it is because in 2018, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I wasn't supposed to still be standing here 4 years later. But it was food and the medicine in food that I had to self-learn how to heal myself. And every day I told myself I was going to win. So I need you to repeat after me. I'm going to win. No, I don't think you understand. I'm going to win. Because that's what I said when all I could do was look up. And some days I couldn't get up. I said, I'm going to win. So I don't know what you're fighting. I don't know what challenges you face to get here today, or what lies behind you when you walk out these walls and these pillars. But I need you to say, I'm going to win. I'm going to win. My name is Sharice Crawford. I am a former council candidate for DC Council at Large. I'm a third-generation Native Washingtonian and fourth-generation free of American slavery. Why is no one talking about the correlation between the poor health diets that my classmates ate in school, because they came to school many days depending on that lunch program, which children today still do? And we are not talking about the agricultural system feeding us genetically modified food, essentially altering our DNA, and top lobbyist companies being paid to take labels off of food so that we cannot properly identify with what we're putting in our bodies. I'm going to win. And all of this was against the system that wanted us to be dependent on their pharmaceutical drugs, dependent on the medicine that they gave my classmates in the third grade because they learned differently. They said it was a condition, so they diagnosed them with ADHD in third grade and gave them medication. And then they went and inoculated them again. And so at 11 years old, they're a drug addict wreaking havoc on our streets because of gut health and malnutrition that was diagnosed as ADHD. I'm going to win. This was my path 18 years ago after my classmate was murdered at the intersection of the cafeteria and the daycare center inside of Ballou Senior High School. The intersection between the care he needed as a child and the food justice that he did not have left him murdered inside of a failed educational institution. So you see, no one helped me make those connections, because we're not even talking about this conversation today as violence wreaks our communities, as many of my neighbors don't want to walk outside, as many of my elders fear the young men on their block. We don't make those connections, but that's what you all are here doing with WANDA. Gut health, poor health is a public safety emergency. Food injustice is a core cause of violence. And as we all know, this country was built on violence. So now this country is reconciling with what it created. And you are part of something so special, so massive. And I want you to know that it is not just about the food we're going to eat today. It's not just about the food that you're going to eat when you go home, but it's about every day waking up knowing that your options of what you eat are only as good as what you can afford. I'm going to win. I made up my mind every day when I couldn't get out of the bed. I made up my mind when the water in the shower felt like knives piercing my skin. But it was food changing my mind about what I put in my body that helped me to heal and rehabilitate. And no doctor told me that. They gave me more drugs. They told me to come back with a new day to spend more money to enhance a capitalistic society, to continue the war on drugs that's left us feeling defeated. I'm going to win. So we withdrew from our campaign for DC Council in March. Because of a capitalistic society, people that come from our communities are often unable to afford to run citywide races or full races because of $500,000, $1 million benchmarks that are simply almost unachievable. And all the while we ran our campaign, my focus was feeding people. All the while people were knocking on doors and making phone calls and helping us raise money, I said, I want to feed people. When we wrapped up the campaign, I said, I want to feed people, and they laughed. But you're here today because you recognize the seriousness and the reality and the present danger of what will happen if we do not get control over what is being fed to our communities. And ensuring that we have access to equitable food, non-GMO fake foods. We have access to food that grows out of the garden, that we can grow gardens in your own living rooms, in your own kitchens, because food is revolutionary. Having the ability to feed yourself and your family is the revolution. So I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank you for overcoming whatever it took for you to show up today, and whatever it takes for you to show up every day as your full self. And I need you to remind yourself every single day when it feels difficult, every day when the shower hurts, every day when the bed hurts because you've been there just a little bit too long and it wasn't the right time and you didn't get the support that you thought you needed, and you thank people like Tambra.
Hey everybody, how you doing today? Good. All right. Well, first of all, I want to say the food was absolutely delicious. Like, can we get a hand clap for that delicious food? Oh my goodness. So my name is Elena Gore. I am here on behalf of Giant. So I am a registered dietitian there. And so I just wanted to come by and say thank you for having us here, first of all. We love partnering with the community, especially for a cause that's so great and just puts things back into not only Ward 8, but DC as a whole. So this is amazing. I just get to be a Black woman up here, and I get to do this for my job. So happy about that. So I just wanted to take a quick moment to let you guys know a little bit about our services so that you can spread the word and as well as use them for yourself. So for those of you who don't know, Giant is the only full-service grocery store in Ward 8. So while a lot of other grocery stores have maybe like somewhere between 8,000 to 12,000 people per grocery store, even though that's not even great, Giant in Ward 8 has about 80,000 people to the one grocery store. So we have a dietitian who is actually in the store, so the store on Alabama Avenue. And so her job is to be a resource there. It's to help people understand food, help people understand their own food journey, things that they specifically need. And Giant as a whole does that in the whole DMV area. But we also specifically focus on community programming in Ward 8. And one of the ways that we decided to do that is that there is a wellness space there. So I don't know how many of you have ever been to that particular Giant. Okay, I see you. So there's a wellness space right when you walk in, you come in the door, it's literally right to your left. Like you can't go past like the first, stand without seeing it. And what that space is put there for is literally for community health and wellness. And it doesn't mean just food. It doesn't just mean nutrition. It could be spiritual wellness. It could be mental health related. It could be physical wellness. So if you are a person in the community and you want to host an event, and it's targeted toward not only Ward 8, but the community as a whole, you can always use that wellness space and connect with us to use that wellness space. Because we know that people in the area have to get their groceries somewhere. So it's a great way to already have people that are coming in and to use that space to reach them, to help them get to programming the best way possible without extra travel. And again, it's just a space to heal. It's a space to just learn and do better, want to do better, or just figure some things out. So we as dietitians and nutritionists, we offer services for free to the community. We do store tours. We do one-on-one consultations. We have webinars. We have nutrition classes that you can take for free online. So giantfood.com/nutrition, and you can see all the services that we offer for free to the community. And we just want to make that known because our goal is to have everyone live their best healthy life that they want. Okay, and that doesn't look the same for everybody, as we all know. And there's not always resources that we can think of. We say, oh, I want to do better this year. Oh, I want to eat healthier this year. Oh, I want to do something. But what Giant is aiming to do is to help you learn how to do the how.
Hello, everyone. Oops, sorry, I'm so loud. I'm just so very grateful to be here. I have offered, some of you may or may not know me, I've offered fitness in Wards 7 and 8 for over 15 years. I started in Anacostia. I'm a fifth-generation Washingtonian. My dad grew up in Georgetown. He delivered papers to Muhammad Ali's doctor, and my mom went to Anacostia. I have been trying to drive home everything that you all have talked about today with regards to food being the source, being our medicine to my clients for so many years. I have never vibed with or believed in the food pyramid and westernized thinking and telling people how to eat. I recently, 2 years ago, got very, very sick, non-COVID related, and I was on life support 2 years ago on a walker. I lost 50 pounds from my couch using food. I don't know if you all are familiar with Dr. Ashby, his book, Comedic Living. I started reading about herbs and just really got way away from the food pyramid. And I just want to share that just having everyone in one space that just believe in the power of food and the power of family just really means so much to me. And secondly, I hope that you all know as women that we hold so much power at the core and the nucleus of our families because we feed our children, we feed our men, and we feed our families. They need that from us. So please continue to provide that and know your power. Thank you.
Are you going to let me talk? Okay. Thank you, Wanda, and everyone here. As Tambra mentioned, I've been involved in the food space in DC for, I guess, at least 12 years now. And one of the first projects, this is kind of a somewhat full circle moment, was right down in Willard Terrace or Valley Green, whatever you know that community name to be, doing community gardens. So the fact that the well is here now is really just a testament to the power of people and our ability to make change in the way that we want to see our communities thrive. So let's just continue that work and continue to move that forward.
Awesome. My name is Amanda Stevenson, owner of the Fresh Fruit Factory and the Fresh Fruit Factories Market. It's an ecosystem where we put food first because we know that food is multi-solving. And at our store, we sell local, healthy, and ethnic foods as medicine. And we work with the purveyors who make those great foods. So some of the women here, they sell their food at our store because when you go down the international aisles of other grocery stores, you don't see foods of Africa and the diaspora. We want to make sure that those foods fill our shelves. And we want to make sure that we have food that improves our health. We all suffered from COVID, whether directly or indirectly. But if nutrition led that conversation and we talked about healing through foods, we wouldn't have experienced such a loss that we felt. Like Mary said earlier, people east of the river is said to live 16 years less than those west of the river. I came from a farm in Virginia. I'm a transplant here in DC. My father suffered in his life. He was blind. He was a blind black farmer in rural Virginia. Life was challenging for us, but he made food work. Food was multi-solving. It was not only economics for him as a farmer. It was not only nutrition, but it became his medicine as he was given a terminal prognosis of 6 months to 1 year to live. He surpassed that by 18 years. But he told the physicians, that's between me and my maker. That was the first step to transform his life. Your spiritual health is so important. And I've learned that from him. So you don't have to subscribe to what life and people and statistics and even doctors tell you. That's up to you if you're going to subscribe to that or not. And I've learned from him the power of the spirit, the power of that connection, but also learning from him how food is our medicine too. I've had my personal experiences with medicine, food as medicine. I lost my first child. You know, and that was crazy for me as we talk about women's health. And I love church and I love community. And to lose my own, it was tragic. I cut off my hair. I did a lot of things. But that took me on this natural journey. It took me much further. I had postpartum alopecia. So food became my healing. It became everything. It's my deodorant. It's everything. So I'm glad to be in this place of healing, being able to be in a community to help heal. I just appreciate every one of us to be here. We know what food does. We know the strength in it. We know the opportunities that it creates. It creates power. We're looking at economic wellness. That's what food creates. It's everything. You guys are everything. I thank each and every one of you in attendance. Tambra mentioned, hey, you know, maybe we all are mothers and we need to go to birthday parties. I need to be at my son's party today, but I also need to be here with you. I want to see harmony in my home, changes in my community, wonders of the world. I want to be a part of this because this is what I'm birthed for. I didn't choose this. It chose me. Life has been my biggest teacher, and I'm glad to be here with each and every one of you. And I'm glad, Tambra, that you chose to recognize my contribution to the community and every woman that's here. I know a lot of you, some I don't know, but I'm glad that you chose to recognize me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. Thank you, Jaren. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mary. Thank you all for being here.